All right, so we are continuing. This is the second half of the section P9 video, uh, writing the equations of ellipses in standard form. And I jumped it up to 50 straight away because we already did the one video. And now we have to do it given these other parameters. And I just want to call to mind again this sheet that I gave you. It's in Google Classroom in a couple of places. And it's got everything on it because what you're going to find, you will develop an intuition for what numbers and where they go and stuff. But to start with, you're really going to need to just graph things out. And then you can kind of see what you know, what you don't know, and how you can find out what you don't know. So let's just get started. We're going to make just a little XY plane there so we can graph stuff out and see where it is. So let's see. The vertices are at 0, -4, and 0, -18. So, and that it says it's the vertices, so we already know that it's a vertically oriented one because the x doesn't change and the y does change, right? So it's going to be x 0, -4, and 0, -18. We'll just put those in there. Those are the vertices. So I'm going to label them in a place where I'll be able to still see everything. -4. I sure wish they had a less fat pen on this, but I can stop complaining about that, I guess, because I've complained about it many times. And the co-vertices, which are on the minor axis. So actually, I'm just going to draw the major axis there too, because I'd like to see that. Okay. And now the co-vertices are at -6, -6, 11, 0, -4, 0, -18. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, -6, -11. So something like that. And 6, -11. So something like that. So that is -6, -11. And that is 6, -11. So what do we know? What can we look at? I'm going to draw the minor axis there as well. So we can already see a few things. We can see our center there because our center is going to be the x coordinates. I'm going to write center right up here. Is going to be what? It's going to be 0 for the x coordinate and -11 for the y coordinate. Why? Because we can see the 0 here doesn't change going all the way down. And so we know the x coordinate of that is 0. And we can see this -11 doesn't change as we go across. So we know the y coordinate of this point right in the middle, the center, is going to be 0, -11. So we're halfway there, right? So then, so we need h and k. So h equals 0 and k equals -11. And now we need an a and a b, right? And the major axis is 2a. And how long is this major axis? Well, it is negative. We'll start at the top, -4, excuse me, minus -18. We'll just start at the more positive value and subtract the less positive value. And if we go -4 minus -18, we're going to get 14. So 2a is 14, which means that A equals 7, right? And now we're going to go to the minor axis. And the major and minor, that was a bad, that's a bad abbreviation, right? The major, I don't know, whatever, you know what it is, major axis. So now we're going to go to the minor axis. The minor axis is going to be to B. And what is 2b going to be? Well, we'll start from the more positive 6, and we'll subtract the other one. 6 minus negative 6. That's going to be 12, right? So b is 12. And that's everything you need to know, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we are going to have, let's see, x minus h, which is 0, squared over, and that is, that's going to be the b, because it's the x is the shorter dimension, right? So it's going to be b squared, so it's going to be 12 squared. Oh, no, b is 6, not 12. Look at that. B is 6 because 2b is 12, so b is 6. So that's going to be 6 squared plus y minus negative 11 squared over 7 squared equals 1. So our actual equation, just to simplify it out here, it's going to be x squared over 36 plus y plus 11 squared over 49 equals 1. And let's enter that. Oh, I don't need to move that at all, do I? Okay. So we got x squared over 36 plus y plus 11 squared over 49 equals 1. Don't forget the equals 1. Hopefully I didn't do anything weird like I did in the last one. There we go. All right. Okay, so this is the same kind of problem. So I'm going to hit jump a level, because I realize that I might be taking longer than I need to, using up more of your time than I need to, because you're kind of watching through them. But you, of course, can always scroll through them if you want. We'll just do this one. Why not? All right. So write the equation in standard form for the ellipse with vertices. Okay. So vertices and co-vertices. Well, that actually gets pretty easy, right? Because we're going to draw these two lines between the vertices and co-vertices. They're going to cross at the center, and we're practically done already. So we'll move pretty quickly through this one. So the vertices are going to be negative 15, 11, negative 15, 11, and negative 15, negative 11. And the co-vertices are going to be negative 17, 0, and negative 13, 0. So there's our minor axis, and there's our major axis, right? So the center, oops, let's get a different color for that. So the center is going to be what? Well, this is negative 15, 11. That's negative 15, negative 11. So the center is going to be negative 15. And then this one is negative 17, comma 0. And this one is negative 13, 0. Right? So the y value for the center is going to be 0. So now we have our h and our k, right? h equals negative 15, k equals 0. Now we just need our a and our b. So a is going to be the longer one, right? So that is the major axis, which we can see there. And so our a, well, 2a, oops, 2a, that's the full length of the major axis, right? 2a is going to equal 11 minus negative 11. So 2a equals 22. So a equals 11. And then b, 2 times b, that's the minor axis. I didn't write major axis, probably should have. But we're doing another one, so I don't have to keep writing those, do I? 2b is going to be the minor axis, which was going to be negative 13 minus negative 17, which is going to equal 4. So b is 2. And now we've got everything we need, right? It is going to look like this. X minus negative 15, x minus h squared over, let's see, let's make sure we get this right. So over 2 squared, right? Because the x dimension is the minor axis. So that's going to be your b. Equals y minus 0 squared over, not equals, plus, sorry about that, 11 squared equals 1. So now we're going to have x plus 15 squared over 4 plus, that should just be a y, sorry about that, y squared. 11 squared is 121 equals 1. And that should do it. And if it does, we'll jump a level, and if it doesn't, we'll figure out what happened. Grab the wrong thing. Here we go. X plus 15 squared over 4 plus y squared over 121 equals 1. There we go. All right. So that's pretty good. Moving right along. I'm going to jump a level now because that's basically the same thing. Oh, no, it's not. Let's see. That's a different question. Write the standard equation standard form for ellipse with the foci there, and the vertices there and there. So I feel like we kind of already did one of these, but that would have been in the last video. So let's just do it again. All right, so here we go. I'm going to use green, I guess. The foci are at negative 15, negative 13, somewhere there, and negative 9, negative 13. So this is a horizontally oriented, because the foci have to be on the major axis. And the vertices are at negative 19, 13, and negative 5, 13. So now we have this. We got this right here. There we go. So now what we got to figure out is, we got to figure out our, let's just write them up here, our H, our K, our A, and our B. So H and K should be pretty easy. So let's just, the center has to be midway between the two foci. So if this one is negative 15, comma 13, negative 13, and there's no eraser. What if I just kind of color over it in white? Not very well. I offer you my humble apologies for that. Okay, so, and it's this fat pen thing again. Negative 15, comma, negative 13, right? That's one foci, and the other is negative 9, comma, negative 13. So the total distance between those is negative 9 minus negative 15 equals 6, right? So we're going to take, we're going to go start at one of those foci and go 3 toward the center between the two foci. So I'm just going to start at negative 9, and I'm going to go negative 10, 11, and there we go. So the center is negative 12, comma, negative 13. And now we have our h and our k, right? H is negative 12, k is negative 13. And now we need our a and our b. So the a is the major axis, right? And we already know what the major axis is. So finding our a is pretty easy because we're looking at these vertices right here, and they're on the line y equals negative 13. So all we're going to do is say 2a equals, and we'll start with the rightmost one, negative 5 minus negative 19 equals, clear, negative 5 minus negative 19 is 14. So 2a equals 14, which means that a equals 7, right? I can just do that. All right, so now the last part, we've got to find b. And we don't know b, and we're going to have to go back to that sheet again, and we're going to look at our, we've got all the information we need to find b, right? We've got this length c. Do we know the length c? Yes, we do. C. No, we don't. Yes, we know. We can find c easy enough because that's what we need to find. So c is what? C is the distance from the center to one of the foci, right? And we actually already had to figure that out. So the foci goes from negative 15 to negative 9, and the center's at negative 12. So the distance between the center and one of those foci is going to be 3. So C is 3. And then A, remember A is going to be, I'm just going to sort of draw this like this, I think. So that's going to be C, right? And that's going to be A. And we got to find our B. So we got b squared plus c squared equals a squared. B squared plus c squared equals a squared. Except we know a and c, so we need to get b by itself, right? So we have b squared equals a squared minus c squared. And remember, we actually need b squared for the formula, so we don't have to square root that. So b squared is going to equal, where are we? A squared, 7 squared, that's 49, minus 3 squared, that's 9. Oh, what did I do? I just 3 squared. Okay, so anyway, this is such a well-organized video. 7 squared is 49, minus 3 squared, which is 9, is going to give us b squared is going to equal 40. So we don't actually need to know b. We could put it in here if we want to. It's a square root of 40. But what we want is b squared, right? So now we can start writing our equation. If only I had a little more room. we'll just do it here. We can do it. So we're going to have x, excuse me, plus 12, because it's minus negative 12, right? Hopefully it's okay that I skipped that. And x, the horizontal dimension is the major axis, so we're going to use a. 7 squared is 49, plus, and then we're going to have y, and y is going to be minus negative 13, so it's going to be y plus 13 squared over square root of 40 squared is 40, right? So when you find b squared, you're actually finding the number you really need. So there's that, and now we'll put it in to see if I get to keep my job as a teacher. Here we go, and then we have parentheses, and then we have x plus 12. We'll go outside the parentheses to square that, and we'll put 49 on the bottom, and then we'll hit a plus there. How are we doing on time? Oh my goodness. I need to get cruising here. I like, this is just fun for me. I don't, after you probably think this is pretty weird, but it's fun. I enjoy doing this. Sometimes I take my time more than I should. So that should be 40 right there. All right. And that should be, I almost forgot the equals 1, didn't I? Don't want to lose that. Oh, what did I do? Isn't that what I put in? X plus 12 squared over 49 plus y plus 13 squared over 40 equals 1. So that's definitely the answer that I have right here. So I must have a typo, right? I put in y. Oh, I do. I have a typo. Well, the typo cost me points. I put in y plus 12, and even though I had y plus 13 written over there, oh well, my bad. Good thing I have this button. All right, so foci and co-vertices, we've already done those. It just gets a little more complicated, right? Because you got the square root, but that actually, those square root things, they work out because you got to square stuff to get it in the equation. So don't be afraid of those. Now I'm entering the challenge zone. Write the equation for there's a center and one vertex and one co-vertex. So I'll just give you direction on this and then we'll close it off. Okay, so we have this, and we know the center is at negative 6, 0, right? And we have a vertex at negative 13, 0, right? And we have a co-vertex at negative 6, 6. How are you going to solve that? How are you going to get the numbers you need? Well, if that's negative 13, if this is negative 13 and that's negative 6, that means that there's a difference of 7 between those two, right? Negative 6 minus 7 gets you to negative 13. So this is going to be, so the other vertex is going to be at 1, 0. And we're going to do the same thing here. This is for the co-vertex. This distance here is from 6 to 0, so that's going to be 6. So the other co-vertex has to be at negative 6, negative 6. And from there, you can find everything else you need. Because we've done it before, right? So you just got to get that chart out and look at the A and the B and the C and figure out what you need to figure out for the equation. And hopefully that's enough. Ask me if it's not, okay? Bye.